Hey skaters, it's Stace here from Next Edge Tutorials. In this lesson today, we're going to be looking at the forward double three turn pattern. So this pattern that I'm going to be showing you today is actually used all around the world. And why? Because forward double three turns are vital to figure skating. It teaches you control, and that's exactly what we're going to be looking at. I'm going to break down the pattern into two parts, the forward outside and the forward inside, and I'm going to give you insight on things that you want to do and also things that might be happening and then the pattern isn't working correctly. So let's jump into it. Now, before we jump in and get started, I want you to click on the link below in the description for your 4 figure skating turns that we have. Now, this is just going to give you a guide so that you have the knowledge, and it's so easy to follow. You can read through it and have an understanding of all our turns. That way, when you get on the ice, you know what you're doing, or when you're watching figure skating, you know what you're looking at. So just give it a quick review. Okay, we're going to take a look at this pattern, and we're going to start off with some intro steps. And then I'm going to make sure I push onto this left forward outside, 3 turn, back inside 3 turn. Now push right forward outside 3, back outside, push, forward outside, inside, push, forward outside, back inside, push, forward outside, back inside. Now, I tried to make sure that my lobes were correct. You saw me do a forward outside 3 turn and a back inside 3 turn, then push to the other foot. The other side being exactly the same, a right forward outside 3, push back inside 3 turn. And we just want to make sure that we have no toe pushes going on throughout this pattern, and my arms were working. I'm turning into my circle and making sure the pressure of my blade is going from that heel to ball, then ball back into that heel. We're going to take a look at it one more time just so that you have an understanding of this first part of the pattern. You have your intro steps, and then we're going to push onto this forward outside 3 turn, past the top, push, turn, hold. Then push, forward outside 3, back inside 3, push, forward outside, back inside, push, forward outside, back inside, push, forward outside, back inside. So that is our first half of our pattern. Now let's talk about 3 things that I want you to focus on. The first being making sure your curves are even. This pattern requires 5 curves. You want to make sure that they are all spaced correctly on one side and the other side of that axis running down the ice. Now, the second thing that I want you to focus on is not fishing out. Making sure that from one 3 turn to the next, you have pressure throughout on that curve so that your blade isn't doing this little bit of wiggling after or before the turn. It is direct pressure down into the ice so that that blade is running correctly. And the third thing that I want you to remember is you might have noticed that my arms, when I push to this left forward outside 3 turn, I did push and I had my left arm in front, then I sliced down and then I made that turn. You might have gone, wait, I was taught, or my coach showed me my right arm being in front on that push. Well, guess what? Both are correct because all you have to remember is you want to make sure that you're open and turning into the circle. So don't worry if you like to push onto that left forward outside 3 and you like to have your right arm in front. You're set and ready to go. Whereas some people need a little bit less time thinking and then they just worry about their arms, and it helps them to really create a nice, beautiful forward outside 3 turn. So just remember both are correct and give it a go. You might find one is easier than the other. Okay, we are ready for this second half. So I'm gonna push right forward inside 3 turn, back outside 3 turn, push, right forward inside 3, back outside 3 turn, push, forward 3 turn, back outside, push, forward inside 3, back outside 3 turn, push, forward inside 3, back outside 3. Now again, I'm just trying to make sure that those lobes are nice and even. You saw me push forward onto a forward inside edge. I created the forward inside 3, then I press for that back outside 3, and then we push to the other foot. I tried not to make sure that my blade didn't fish out. I had my shoulders facing into the circle for those forward inside 3 turns. So those are some things that I want you to focus on. Okay, we're gonna take a look at this one more time going down the ice. I'm gonna push onto a right forward inside 3 turn, back outside, then push forward inside, back outside, push, forward inside, back outside, push, forward inside, back outside, push, forward inside, back outside. Okay, so let's talk about 3 things that I want you to focus on when doing the forward inside double 3 turns. The first one is not grinding on your toe picks. That is something that everyone wants to do for that back outside 3 turn. They get a bit nervous. They've done a great forward inside 3 turn. It feels comfortable. Then they start thinking about that back outside 3 turn, and they wind up grinding their toe pick and then making the turn. Please remember to stay off that toe pick. We have to create these nice edges forward inside, then pressing that back outside to that other forward inside edge. So grinding on the toe pick will definitely make that turn stuck, and then you won't have that glide coming out to finish the pattern correctly. Now, the second thing that I want you to focus on is making sure the placement of the turns are very even. You want to make sure that you turn at 1/3 of that half circle and 2/3 of that half circle, making sure that it's not at the top. We want to keep it nice and even because it also keeps the movement and the flow very, very even. And the third thing that I want you to do is making sure that you have the same pushes throughout. It is very important. You don't want to have one really strong push and do great double 3 turns, and then you go for the other side and then you do this little baby push. They won't be even, and then the pattern won't be correct. So we have to make sure that those pushes are even throughout on both sides. So there you have it. Those are your 2 patterns. You have the forward outside and the forward inside. Now, I did not connect them together because I really wanted you to take in the forward outside 3 turns and the forward inside 3 turns, but you will need to connect them before you test. Thanks for watching Next Edge Tutorials, and looking forward to seeing you in our next lesson.